Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's CaitlinAnwyn for anyone who's new here, and let's get into another speed build. So I am renovating the Laurel Library in the center of Britechester today. It looks like a really super old, boring building, and it is right in the center of town. To me, it looks like the main building for Britechester, and it's super boring and old and frankly dark and dank looking. So I wanted to give it a little bit more of a modern makeover and spruce it up a bit because I thought it was super boring and it needed a bit of a makeover. The stone flooring looked awful, and I don't think I've ever seen a library with stone flooring in it. So that was the first thing to go, and I kept the main center of the build in more of its original form with the brick walls, and modernized the extended parts of the building. I do like that the original builds for Discover University have the configurable stairs in them now. The gurus did make some effort with this build. I just found it really old and boring. And those windows are going to infuriate me throughout the whole build. Unfortunately, they're just not centered to the little grass area that they've got. So yeah, that's incredibly infuriating. I absolutely hate those windows, but I wanted to keep it more of a renovation and keep the outside looking the same, but give it a modern renovation for the inside, so it looks more like the libraries that I saw in university, where the buildings were older, but they weren't going to use all old and drab looking items on the inside. It was just those basic cheap looking modern uni furniture. But I wanted to keep the feel of the main library the same and just freshen it up a little, because if I was a student, I would definitely not be going to this library at all. But I went for a red and a yellow colour scheme to give hints at the colours for each of the universities, because this building is in between the two unis. I wanted to give it a mixed sort of colour scheme, so the yellow for Britechester Uni and red for Foxbury. And this research room was terrible. You would not go into a library with those old computers anymore. They would definitely upgrade them a lot more than these ones. There's no way they would be that old in a library. It's not that bad. So I definitely gave them a technical makeover too and gave them better computers. And this is sort of something that I've seen in libraries where like it's all compacted into the center of the room, so people have space to walk around. Obviously, I think there would be more computers than that, but it's The Sims and there's not a lot of space, but I still gave them more than EA's original computers anyway. And red and green theme for Britechester and Foxbury. My university library was kind of similar to this, with there being a room where you can go on computers and study, but it was a lot bigger, obviously. And I know I actually did an education degree, which you don't have in The Sims. And bright colours were supposed to help with learning, supposed to stimulate learning, so that's why I picked the bright colours for the separate rooms. There wasn't a specific debate room like what we saw on the trailer, so I wanted to give them a neutral debate room for both unis. So obviously there's a Foxbury red side and a Britechester green side, but it's a nice neutral ground for the Sims. So if you wanted to practice your debate against a rival team, you're not going to their uni debate room. It's in the middle, it's in just Britechester town, so there's not going to be any mascot fights going on or anything. Could give a little bit more to gameplay as well, giving you a reason to leave your uni dorm for a change to practice your debate. And I put like a little box on a table, so that could be like the voting box for whichever team you think won the debate. I thought that would be a cute little ballot box, so you could vote for whatever team you think won the debate. And this build is mainly Discover University, but I did add in the little cafe item from Get Together. That's the only Get Together item I think I use in the whole build. I just thought it would be nice to pop a little coffee chill out area upstairs. And then something that I did have in my university library that I thought could be super helpful to have. Hello, Misty. For gameplay or for your Sims, which is private study rooms. So in my university you could hire or rent a room to do like presentation work and stuff like that. It was a lot quieter and it's private, so you can just sit in a room on your own and study or work on presentations with a group. So I thought I would include that upstairs. And again, lots of bright colours to give a little hint to the very little amount of things I learned from university. And I wanted upstairs to look a little more modern than the main room downstairs, so I left that one wall the original brick to blend in with the downstairs, but then the rest of the upstairs is going to be super duper modern. And hi baby. I also used the new update where you can pull the columns up and down, which is kind of fun, and you can actually make them shorter as well. So I actually got the columns to support the stairs a little better to blend in with the rest of the build, which I quite liked. I didn't think I was missing that tool where I can pull. I didn't think of that tool to change the columns. I've never wanted that, but super helpful and nice little feature. So this is the like little chill out area of the library where you can have a coffee, and you could probably still go on your laptop here and do some uni work with a coffee. I definitely had this sort of area in my university where you could, it's sort of like an internet cafe sort of area, loads of plugs everywhere, so you can plug your laptop in, but you can have a cup of coffee at the same time. And I kept all of this quite plain and white to just go for more of a modern style upstairs. I wanted it to be a little bit of a different stance than the downstairs, so it could be properly like renovated and nice. I think that was the place where I spent the most time is the coffee shop area where you could do work, but that is where I did the most of my essay writing in uni anyway. Because I lived at home, I did most of my work at home obviously, but I chilled out by the coffee area the most in uni. I think that was definitely a thing, a student thing. Like if you could get a coffee and be able to do your work, even better. It was always super noisy in there though, so if you needed quiet time to focus on your work, you weren't gonna get it done in the coffee area. And that's where people like chilled out between lectures and stuff too. so it was never quiet in there if you wanted to specifically listen to things and stuff. So that's why I added in those private areas at the back. If you've got a sim like one of my sims in my Discover University Let's Play, she's super socially anxious and hi, just like me, and likes the quiet time and doesn't like going into the busy areas or joining in any of the organizations. This would be like a nice little area for them to do their studying in. It's like a separate room where other sims probably won't be going into, won't have a reason to go into. And I themed each room to what could possibly be the degree you have chosen. Now there's a lot of different degrees that came with Discover University, so I obviously only had 4 rooms to decorate, so they're not specifically all of the degrees, but it could help in some of them at least. So I've got like a robotics room, I've got a more arty room with some really good easels that'll boost your skills. And I've also included things that can affect your sim's mood. So the painting accessories like the canvas and that like wooden thing that holds canvases, that actually makes your sims inspired if you enable the emotional aura of the object. So that will boost your sim's skill gain. So if your sim's inspired in the painting room, the painter skill will be boosted because they're inspired. And I also include some of the emotional paintings that I have to make your sims either confident or focused in most of the rooms, so that your skills can be boosted. Because if your sims focus, they will do their homework better, and if they're confident, I think that will help in their presentations. So I thought this could be like a presentation practice room as well, and included a room where you can privately work on your studies as well, because some of the main computer rooms in libraries are quite annoying because they're not as quiet as you think they would be in university. So giving your sim a room to quietly do their studies is quite handy. And then this blue room is going to be the presentation room, and I was quite surprised that we don't have like a debug presentation board. Even in the live edit objects, there's no presentation board, so I left a space in that room for you to pop in whatever presentation board you need for your subject. You're just given that when you start your classes. But it depends on what subject you take, whether you actually need a presentation board or not. I think only 2 out of 3 of my sims have a need to make a presentation. So if you would like to download this library for your save file, it is up on my gallery. My gallery name is CaitlinAnwyn, just like my YouTube channel, so you can search me up there. It's also under the hashtag CaitlinAnwyn if you can't find my page. And this is the whole build. I hope you enjoyed this little speed build, modernizing this boring old library. I think it looked awful, and at least your sims have a little bit more to do in this library now other than just sit and read a book. We've got a debate room, a research and computer suite, and then upstairs you got some private study rooms and a place to chill out and drink some coffee like a typical student. Did your university libraries have private study rooms like mine did? I can't really remember from other unis that I visited before I went to the one that I chose to go to, whether they had private study rooms, but I know the university I went to definitely did. It was like my favorite part. I loved renting a private room to sit on my own and quietly do work without any interruptions. And I hope you enjoyed this little speed build. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you haven't already, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!